So we're in Bled now and walking a little bit of the area. Here we have carriage rides around the lake over here, and we are from the side of the town of Bled. So this is where the majority of visitors would come, especially those who come with the public transportation, I mean the buses. Also, majority of parking lots are located from this side, cafes, restaurants, and so on. So we have park area over here, and obviously there is a castle above us, so over there ahead. We're going to see it a little bit later. Bled Castle, Blejski Grad. So, and here's the lake. Probably the best views of the lake are not from here, because the island, so over there in the distance, island is quite far, and it's better to approach the lake from another side to have a better view of the island. So here it's quite busy today. We have yesterday we had Easter, so holidays, days off, lots of visitors. And here we can see the island, we can see the castle. The castle over there is perched on a cliff which is 130 meters high. The castle is considered to be the oldest castle in Slovenia. It's about the records, so for the first time it was mentioned in the historical records in year 1011, before any other castle in Slovenia. It doesn't mean it was built in 1011, actually it was mentioned as a gift of German emperor to the bishops. After that, lots of owners, and we may say managers, probably. So nowadays the castle houses a museum since the times of World War II. After World War II it was established over there. And there on the distance we can see the island. Just from this side it doesn't look like an island, more like a part of the opposite shore. It's about the fact that again the island is closer to the opposite shore of the lake. The main way how to get there is by the boat, of course. So there are special kind of rowing boats, which is called pletna boat. It's a type of a local gondola. So the lake is 2 kilometers long, 1.3 kilometers wide, with the depth up to 30 meters. In summer period of time, the temperature of water here can go up to approximately 26 degrees. At least in years 25 and 24 it was up to 26 degrees Celsius, or something like 77-78 Fahrenheit. So it's quite warm. There are a few areas around the lake where we can swim and sunbathe. It's not everywhere allowed, but there are a few areas over here. In winter period of time the lake usually doesn't freeze up, so again it's possible. It is possible, and the last time it was in year 2017, 16 or 17, when the ice covered the whole lake, and the layer of ice was so thick that people could walk to the island, actually. Walk to the island. And a little bit on a distance there are pletna boats waiting for the guests to transport them to the island. And also we can see that hill, which is Straža, guard. There is a toboggan over there, rating in summer period of time. this hotel park, and the restaurant is the place where cream cake was invented. So it's the most known cake which originates from over here, from Slovenia, cream cake. Everywhere around the lake actually they serve this cream cake, and the recipe is pretty much the same, but here they say it was invented. This is also the best place to take the boat to the island, usually the best place. The reason is that there are quite a lot of visitors who come from over here, and for that reason the boats are usually fulfilled faster, because there are other options around the lake, but usually there you have to wait longer. And in winter period of time, it's from here from where the boats operate only, usually. Well, it's not always, but still it's easier. In winter period of time there is only the electric boat, like a small ferry, which is over there, which operates and take people to the island. These platinum boats, traditional boats, sometimes do not operate in winter. Over here, down below, there are like scuttled railways. These are foundations for platforms, which they put over here during the rowing competitions. You can see there is a number of buoys, and the athletes do rowing. Very often they have competitions over here. Sometimes more local, sometimes European championships, once, twice a year. It's common. So here we are now in Bled Castle. Bled Castle is known for being the oldest castle in Slovenia. Again, according to the records, so it was the first one to be mentioned. Nowadays the castle actually mainly comes from very different periods of time. After that it was rebuilt many times, and houses an exhibition of a museum. Besides that, there is a restaurant, couple of souvenir stores, a cafe. Over here we can see a peacock on the top. It's about one of the most known archaeological evidences, archaeological findings in the area. The original is inside the museum, and it's a brooch from 5th century. Now we have the Easter holidays, so we have special kind of decorations over here, and for that reason also we have quite a lot of people. It's not that much common for April for this place to be really busy, but holidays. So, and from up here we have very nice views of the lake. From this point we can also see that the castle is a castle actually, right? So, not the castle, I'm sorry, the island, of course. So it doesn't look like a part of the opposite shore anymore. We also can see the mountains. Here are the Julian Alps, and here is Triglav, the highest peak of Slovenia, with 2864 meters. Over here we're on the elevation of about 130 meters above the lake. Okay, and up there on the walls there is a exhibition at the tower. There is an exhibition which is dedicated to Rikli, the guy who established the resort over here in Bled. Down there you can see there is a printing office. So there is a replica, so like so-called castle printing office. And so over here we have a replica of the printing machine, Gutenberg press. So nowadays they do sure they do printing postcards, and so once you come here you can print your own or choose among those which are already available over here. Besides that, in the castle you can of course find a cafe with a cream cake, the most known pastry from Bled, and it's served literally everywhere around the area. According to the beliefs, not to the beliefs, the historical facts actually, it was once introduced in a cafe down there, which is named Park. And of course the most genuine comes from there, but there are lots of other cafes, and actually in each one of them they serve pretty much the same cakes, so they will be pretty much similar. Here I was going to show you one interesting thing. It's one of the most common crafts in Slovenia, one of the most traditional, and one of those which can be named actually Slovene. So this is so-called beehive panels or panske končnice. Originally, long ago, local beekeepers started to understand that when painting, first of all, painting the beehives in different colors means easier to distinguish my beehives from my neighbors' beehives, and they started to paint them in different colors. But later they also noticed that if a beehive have a different picture, so for the bees it is easier to find their way home. They bring more honey and do it faster, and eventually they started to put such beehives on the hives. There are about 500 of ideas behind these beehive panels, but half of them come from the Bible. Some are jokes, stories from everyday life or legends. For instance, this one is world upside down, so the animals are burying the hunter. This one is so-called women magic meal. So an old woman goes inside, come out the young one. It's traditional Slovene craft, and you don't find anything like this anywhere in the world apart from Slovenia. And in general, as you can see, beekeeping is very much important for Slovenia. It's one of the most typical local traditions. Of course, one of the things Bled Castle is known for is the views, and here we have some beautiful views of the area and the lake down there. You can take a cream cake and a coffee and have it with a very nice view of the area. And so over here at the entrance to the castle we have a very nice view of the Karavanke mountain range and the Mount Stol, which is located over there a little bit in a distance, 2238 meters. We have Austria just behind the mountains. Also, from here we can see the area where Vingar Gorge is located. It's just behind this hill. And if you walk back from Vingar Gorge using the long path, you walk that area, the church, and these fields. So here is the lunch, and we have schnitzel, which is not traditional Slovene food but very much classic over here. So we are driving very close to the area of Lake Bohinj, and here we of course have pretty great scenery, beautiful landscapes. The mountains still have snow and likely will have snow till June. Well, at least small pieces of this white color. So we are almost at the very end of the valley, which ends with Lake Bohinj. Over there on the right side we can see Mount Triglav. So the highest peak of Slovenia is over there. And actually close by we have the area from where they often start hikes to Mount Triglav. As in many other areas, lots of kozolets, hay racks around here, but usually without of hay. This time of year it's not common, it's too early for hay. And here we are also approaching Triglav National Park. Here's the sign, Triglav National Park. So, and that's Mount Triglav right ahead. So we have very nice views of these Julian Alps from here. Lake Bohinj is located inside Triglav National Park, unlike Lake Bled, which is like outside of it. The name Bohinj highly likely comes from the word Boh, which means God, G-O-D. It's God's lake. Maybe it's about divine beauty of the lake. Maybe it's about the fact that some of the first people who were baptized into Christianity in this region were baptized over here in the area of Lake Bled, so it's a kind of a cradle of Christianity for Slovenes. And we are now approaching the lake. The area can be quite busy in summer period of time. Quite a lot of people would come here to spend at least part of their summer vacations. Hiking, swimming, kayaking, canoeing, cycling, lots of activities. Over here on the right there is a hotel which is named Bohinj, a very nice hotel with beautiful views of the Alps. On the right side we can also see the name of the lake, Bohinj, and a monument which is dedicated to the first who actually climbed Mount Triglav. It was at the end of 18th century. They're pointing towards Mount Triglav, that monument, towards there. This time of year it's pretty peaceful and calm. There are not so many visitors, but again today we have now we have holidays. So yesterday we had Easter, so these days it's busier, of course, busier than usually. So on the right side here we have the bridge, and this is the border of the lake and the river. So the lake is on our left. The bridge comes from 1930s. So across the bridge there is a church of St. John the Baptist. Partly the church comes from 13th century, as often on the wall of the church there is a fresco of Saint Christopher. That's very much common because, like, according to local beliefs, if one sees Saint Christopher in the morning, they do not die today. And so for that reason it was very much common to place Saint Christopher on the walls of churches, the walls which were facing the village. And so the villagers see Saint Christopher in the morning and feel safe, at least within a day. So here we have the lake. During the summer period of time this area can be quite busy and people would do swimming and sunbathing over here. And there are also boats for rent. Here we can see that there is also a boat which transport people from one side of the lake to another. The navigation starts in April and usually lasts till late October, November. Over there above we can also see Mount Vogel, and there is a ski resort and there is a cable car, so we can reach the mount with the cable car. It gets to the elevation a little bit above 1500 meters. From there you can walk, or in winter period of time, so for skiing purposes, there are chair lifts. Over here we have a monument to a chamois. Chamois is a relative to a wild goat. The monument actually is Zlatorog. So Zlatorog means golden horn, the same as the name of that boat over there. It says Zlatorog, golden horn. And so golden horn is a character of local legends. According to them, it lives on the slopes of Mount Triglav and protects the treasures which are hidden in the mountains. From time to time, local hunters try to find these treasures and hunt down the chamois. But in these legends, everything usually ends pretty bad for the hunters, not for the chamois. The chamois are some of the symbols of Slovenia. You can also find it on the bottle of the most common Slovenian beer, for instance, named Laško. Laško Zlatorog, also golden horn. So the green one, as sometimes we would say, the green beer, because it's one of the symbols. And from here, usually in summer period of time, we have boat rent over here. And also from here we can see the church of St. John the Baptist, very nice view. The church is often called second most photographed church in Slovenia. after the one which is on the island of Lake Bled, of course. So again, the church partly comes from 13th century. For instance, the bell tower is from 18th century. As many churches, it went through different periods of time. Nowadays it serves more like a museum, so there is an exhibition inside. Again, the frescoes are in very good condition, and it's usually open in summer period of time and sometimes on the weekends during the winter time. For instance, today, despite the fact that it's a holiday, it's closed. And here is how real chamois should look. At the moment we don't see fish over here. Actually, there is lots of trout, but for winter period of time the trout goes down the river, so behind the bridge and further, and it comes back in May and stays in the lake till late September. There is someone paragliding over there. I'm not sure if they will be seen on the video, but there are a few gliders. It's quite common to start from that point over there on that mountain. One of the local experiences. Actually, the only engines which are allowed over here on this lake are electric engines, but these two boats are for rescue purposes, so they have petrol engines because they need to rescue people fast. So here is the bridge, which is also the border between the lake and the river. The river starts on this side. In river it is allowed to fish. Over there, that area is already outside the national park. When from this side we have the lake, and the lake is inside Triglav National Park, so fishing is prohibited. That's a real beauty. As they say, Bled is for tourists, Bohinj is for Slovenes. Now we can have a closer look at the church of Saint John the Baptist. On the wall of the church there is one of the frescoes which remained, and the fresco went through a few renovations, of course, and as often on the fresco there is a Saint Christopher. Again, it's a very important saint according to the local beliefs. And here we can find the information that the fresco of Saint Christopher comes from, like, frescoes outside the wall dating back to depict Saint Christopher. So again, frescoes were renovated a few times. So the oldest frescoes here come from approximately 13th, 14th centuries. Saint Christopher, again, a very important saint in this area, due to the fact that, according to local beliefs, when someone sees Saint Christopher in the morning. They don't die today, so they often put Saint Christopher on the wall, which faces the village, for the villagers to have a look at Saint Christopher in the morning and feel safe, at least today. Here we have the navigation. There are boats which take people from one side of the lake to another. And this is the common time schedule for summer period of time. The boats start the navigation in April and end somewhere in October, November. Again, the boats look like this. There's one of them approaching and bring people from one side of the lake to another and then back. So we came to Vingar Gorge and it's our next destination. Going to visit the area. Over here we have the place where the shuttle buses come. The shuttle buses come here from Bled, and the parking lots also can be quite busy. Quite a lot of people use the shuttle buses over here. And so for majority of people it's a loop which starts from over here through the gorge and then back through one of the ways. Our today's vehicle, Mercedes-Benz V-Classe, which is electric. The main issue of these vehicles is of course range, but our today's itinerary can be easily covered with 300 kilometers, which offers this vehicle around 300 kilometers. Mercedes is a little bit smaller than my vehicle, which is Ford Tourneo Custom, but it's very solid on the road, so also very nice to drive it, even though again the inner space a little bit less. Still, so this is the river. The river's name is Radovna, and Vingar Gorge is basically the gorge, the canyon of this river. So this part is also located inside Triglav National Park. Triglav National Park. So for that reason, for instance, we have this sign over here. So above there, out of the national park, we have the fishing park, and as in many areas around here in Triglav National Park, the fishing is prohibited. So here we have the entrance to the gorge. Here they scan the tickets at the entrance. The tickets must be purchased in advance. The best way to do this is to do this through their website, vingar.si. So it's the official website of Vingar Gorge, and you buy the tickets for a certain time slot over there. When you receive the tickets on your email, you can actually see the exact time of your entrance, and the system only lets you in on that exact minute. So simply over there, scan the barcodes and receive the helmets to walk through the gorge. So the gorge inside is 1600 meters. It's 1 mile. It's 1 mile. There is water to fulfill, and a local map, and also over here we have pretty much of a map of the gorge. So we start from over here and walk through the gorge, through the very gorge, seeing the railway bridge over there, and get to the exit next to waterfall named Shum waterfall over here. From here we can actually take two ways back, one like this, right, so from this side, one over here. This year, so we're here in the beginning of April 2026, they officially only offer one way, like this, so we're doing a loop. All this distance is something like 5.5 kilometers approximately. But on our tours we do it in a little bit different way, so we start from here and basically drop off people over here, my guests, the tourists over here. They walk this way and I meet them at the exit, and from here we simply walk to the nearest parking lot, which is in the village of Blejska Dobrava. But this way is very beautiful actually, so it takes time, but there is quite a lot to see. So here we are from the other side of Vingar Gorge. That's the exit from the gorge. It's also a very beautiful area of Radovna river. And there, a little bit on a distance, we have a waterfall, which we are going to have a look at. The waterfall is named Shum. So Shum means noise. Noise. And it can be really noisy. So again, now it's the beginning of April, and everywhere around this woods and forests we have a strong smell by garlic, and this is this wild garlic is blossoming at the moment. So I'm gonna show you some buds. Well, actually it's not blossoming yet, but it's gonna blossom very much soon everywhere over here. And we start to hear this very strong garlic smell everywhere. So don't see any buds, must be somewhere. Okay, maybe on the way back. I'm going to show it to you. We can pickle these garlic buds and use, instead of pickled peppers, for instance. It's very much common. Here we have the waterfall. The waterfall's name is again Shum, so noise. It's quite a small one. The height of this waterfall is only about 14 meters, so it's not a very high one, and can be really noisy. So this time of year we have quite a lot of water. It can be way less during the summer period of time. And up there, this is where we have the exit from the very gorge. So this is the exit from the gorge. This is the main trail through the gorge, and the visitors would use it. So again, it's 1600 meters People come from the one side to another side. It's one way, it's one direction. Only Radovna River and Shum waterfall down below us. From this side we have a small cafe with coffee, drinks, ice cream. Also, usually in summer period of time, you can try here potica. Potica, it's a very typical Slovene cake or a pie. So originally a festive one for Christmas, Easter. They always can have poticas, so you can have coffee and potica. No coffee today, unfortunately. And from here, so we have the main way. At the moment they only offer this one. So King of Triglav Trail, and it goes around the hill back to the entrance. So been here, the entrance, through the gorge to this spot, and then around. But with my guests, will walk up to Blejska Dubrava to our vehicle.